Welcome to this edition of the Monday Morning Muses. If this is your first time with us, I'm Pastor Doug Brauner. I'm the senior pastor at Holy Cross Lutheran Church in Colorado Springs, Colorado. I've been blessed to be a part of this congregation now this month for 18 years. And a great 18 years. It's not always been easy. But I feel very blessed to be a part of this community. And those of you watching this that are part of Holy Cross, thank you for putting up with me and allowing me to do what I do at Holy Cross. And I know that I'm not perfect in this role as a pastor, but your grace to me is absolutely amazing, and I thank you for it. So that's not what I want to talk about today. I'm going to want to muse with you about kind of a narrow topic today, narrower than usual, because, you see, on Saturday I got to spend the day with my grandchildren, and it was Eli, our oldest grandchild's 7th birthday party, and it was so much fun spending some time with him. He had some friends over. It was a beautiful day up in Loveland. We've had a lot of rain down here in Colorado Springs, and they haven't had it up there as much as we had. And even on Saturday morning, we had a downpour here at our house here in Colorado Springs, but up there didn't have anything. So as they like to do for Eli's party, since it's in the summer, is to have it out in their backyard and just having a good time with a bunch of water stuff that they did. But anyway, so just reflecting and musing with you a little bit here on that area of grandparent, but I hope it doesn't you don't turn it off and say, well, that doesn't apply to me, because I think there's a point I want to make in this that transcends being a grandparent as we get there. But one of the great things about being a grandparent is the ability to do things differently than you did with your own children. But you also realize that, and some of it comes with some regrets, right? Because one of the reality is that when you're a grandparent, you don't have the energy you had when you were raising your own children. And I saw that in my son Joel. My son Joel he had a great time with Eli and his friends. So they had a slip and slide in the back, and it was kind of a cool slip and slide, a lot different than when our kids were growing up. And Joel and I reflected on that, which was just a piece of plastic that we had, and you had the hose and you wet it down. Now they have these ones that they actually have kind of a cushion you land on, and then there's like a soaking hose. Some of you don't even know what I'm talking about, because all you've known is our sprinklers, underground sprinklers in your house. But we used to have soaking hoses, and it had that kind of, and it spread water on the slip and slide the whole time, and it's just fun watching the kids. They did it differently. But Joel, what does he do? He gets his swimsuit on, and he does it with the kids a few times. Not only does he do that, but he has these water balloons, and they have a water balloon fight. And of course, since he's the big guy, he ends up being the target most of the time. And it's neat to watch your kid do that and to be so much a part of your grandchildren's lives. But God gives you the ability as a grandparent to sit back and just to watch and to enjoy your grandchildren. It's not the same, as being a parent. And there's times that that when I'm around my grandchildren and my children, I do have regrets that. And I probably talked about this before in another musing or in sermons somewhere along the line, that I didn't do the things that I now see and love watching my son and daughter-in-law. They're amazing parents. Amy and Joel just do an amazing job with our grandchildren. And they're raising them in the faith. They remind them of their baptismal birthdays. They do prayers with them, and it's wonderful to watch. Grandchildren are a great gift of God to us. Even though my body can't do the things that I used to do, and I don't have the energy I used to have. Some of that's good, though, because it slows us down and allows us maybe to do some different things with our grandchildren than we did with our children. But what I really want to get in the heart of this is, and that's why I'm hoping you're still with me, even if you don't have children or grandchildren, is that what I find so often in my life is that my home, and not meaning house here, but really meaning my family, is a place of grace for me. And if I really want to experience God's grace and to understand what it's all about, I look at my children and the gift of my grandchildren who don't have that history with me, and how they have forgiven me for the past, for my sin, my brokenness that I brought into our family life. A while back, one of my favorite Praying with the Eyes devotions, that in the sense of reflecting, it was one of those blogs that I wrote where I could really reflect on what's going on in my life, is one that's called Home, a Place of Grace. And I took a picture of, that wall in our house. It has all the pictures of family stuff, and I talked about that place where my children have forgiven me, or at least they're working toward forgiving me for my failures. And what I hope more than that is not just that they are forgiving me, because it's not really about me, but that they're learning from those mistakes in their own life and saying, I don't want to repeat that in my life. And that would be a great thing for me to know, is that my children are saying, look, I don't want to do the same thing that caused some pain in my life and my family. I don't know if that makes sense to you. I don't like to say I did the best I could. I've talked about this before, and I'll repeat it again. Because when I say I did the best I did, it's like an excuse. I would rather come under the cross of Jesus Christ and know that what I did in the past is forgiven and done away with, and I get to start over with my family again and spending time with them. We're so blessed to have our son Mike living here in town, and he is a godsend to Janice and me right now, because he is he's doing so much around our house. We have popcorn ceiling, which I don't know what why that was so popular back in the 80s to build a home with, and he's scraping all that off. I can't do it. My back will not allow me to do that. And he did an amazing job. He's painted our bathroom. He's done other stuff. We pay him for some of that, but he does it well, and he does it graciously, and then he comes over and we get to talk. And that's the better gift of all. And what a place of grace. And I pray that you have that experience too, because it puts meat on the fact that Jesus died for us, rose from the dead for us, is to have family that reflects that, or friends maybe in your case who reflect that, a place of grace. It's amazing. Anyway, so I've talked about today about the Praying with the Eyes ministry. I want to give you some updates for those of you who have been a part of that. One of the things that some of you knows that I have taken a little break from the podcast, the Praying with the Eyes podcast, and that's been a really good thing for me. I've been doing it now between the internet broadcast that started it all, and on the IB network, and then moving it to a podcast. It got to a point where I just needed to take a little bit of a break to re-examine and reevaluate. So there's going to be some changes. The next podcast will come out September 1, and we're going to pick up where I left off. I didn't finish the part 3 of the Three Amigos, and we're going to talk about service. What is service? Actually, that one, Dan Hampton's going to take the lead in that. But I've got some other things coming up. I'm planning the schedule for the year. I know that I'm going to be bringing Alan Briggs on. He's got a new book coming out. Some of you have seen my post on that recently, a book called Everyone's a Genius, and releasing creativity in the church. It's a wonderful book. I have been blessed to have a copy of it, advanced copy, and I've been reading it, and I've posted just a few things. I haven't had an opportunity to post very much about it, but I will be doing more of that. But I'm going to have him come on and some other people. We're going to talk, it's the 500th anniversary of the Reformation, so I'm going to bring Dan Hampton, our local historian, and he's going to come on and we're going to talk about that. I mean, there's going to be some other things too, but needed to revamp it, so I appreciate your patience with that, but it will be back September 1, and I look forward to being able to get back to podcasting again. And then if you haven't been a part of the Praying with the Eyes devotion, daily devotions, I would encourage you to. You can go to prayingwiththeeyes.com, and daily there is a devotion written by one of 8 people right now, And I like that perspective because everybody has a different perspective when they write their devotions, and a different way of seeing the world, a different picture that they add to that devotion. And I would love to have you be a part of that. Anyway, encourage you, and all the Praying with the Eyes and the Monday Morning Muses, it's all a part of the ministry of Holy Cross Lutheran Church in Colorado Springs. And I know that there's a lot of misuses of social media, but we want to do something positive with it. We want these to inspire your life and help you. So anyway, just a short kind of musing with you today. I pray God's blessings with you and the rest of your day, and I look forward to being with you, God willing, next week.